some of the things that you need to do, just the business of the business and how we need to get it handled. So some background information for me. I'm originally from Columbus, Georgia. That's my hometown. I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee in 2003, and so it's been my home since then. I am a wife, a mother of three. I'm a full-time employee as well as owning a business, and I'm also in school finishing up my master's. So about 2 years ago, I got the crazy idea to add something else on my plate, and that's how my business was born. My background is that I have a management degree as well as an accounting degree with a minor in finance. So although I don't think I know everything about business, my education has helped me a lot, and I hope that I can give you guys some tips to help you. So let's get started. The first thing I like to talk to you about is your commitment to your grind. How committed do you plan on being? So you've made the decision to be an entrepreneur. The first thing you need to decide is the commitment level to what you plan on doing. Starting to do this is very much like having a baby. You have the pregnancy period, then you have getting everything ready for the launch. That's the time to focus on everything you need to do to get ready. The birthing period is when you launch the business and you have your grand opening and you're in your stages of marketing like crazy to get your name out of there, get your name recognized. The newborn stage is very exhausting, very, very tiring. There are some days that I don't even think that I eat sometimes. So if you plan on being completely hands-on with your business, you will be very tired the very first few years. You can easily find yourself being the manager, the worker, the accountant, the bookkeeper, payroll processor, and sometimes just hands-on doing whatever your business is. So, of course, with my cleaning business, I've been the cleaner. I've done everything. And your rate of success is directly tied to how committed you'll be to your grind. Now that you've decided that you're going to open your business, let's talk about money. What does your initial investment look like? How much do you need to launch? Will you be self-funded? Are you going to do crowdfunding, or will you have investments? Capital is very important for all startup businesses. This is a true story. So my business was basically formed overnight. I had a friend that was doing cleaning, and I had a friend that needed some cleaners. And she called me out the blue, and she was just asking me and said, well, do you know if I can find somebody to clean these dorm slips? And I was like, how much is paying? So she asked me to come down and sit down with her CEO. I came down, walked out with a contract, and they told us if we did the flips really good, we can get another contract. On my way from leaving that meeting, I stopped at City Hall. I got my business license. I called my insurance agent. I got insurance, and then I went home and told my husband that we had a new business. I didn't think about how much it was going to take to do a business initially because it just happened so fast. But my business, literally, I used my credit cards to start my business. I got all the supplies that I thought we were going to need for the dorm flip. I used credit cards for my website. I use it for business cards. I use a lot of my credit cards and savings to start my business. That might not be practical for some people. So this is very, very, very important for me that you sit down and you think about how much capital you're going to need. Your business might not be like mine. Luckily for me, for cleaning the business, the startup capital it's not a big investment that you have to take. Now, as we've grown, we need more money, but initially we didn't. But if you have something that takes a big initial capital, there are some things that you might need to look into, like Kiva. The SBA has loans. There's also the Ideal Elite loan that's funded by TVA. There's different places that you can go to that can help you with the startup costs. And also, if you have a partner, your partner might be bringing in capital too that can help. Pre-opening costs are your license, your insurances, your business plans, or laptops or any technology that you might need. The post-opening costs are going to be your marketing and advertising expenses, employees expenses, promotion expenses. So once you have an idea of what your costs will be, now you know what you need to do to decide to raise your capital. Okay, so now that we've talked about your commitment to your grind, and we've also talked about your capital, let's talk about finding some mentors to help you. I was very blessed to come from a lot of entrepreneurs, but also I had friends that have been in business 15 to 20 years. So if I had questions about, human resources questions or marketing questions, I had someone to go to. But also, if you're lucky if you're in the city of Chattanooga, because there is a wealth of places that can help you. There's CoLab, which I've worked with from the beginning, and those guys are amazing. They just, anytime I go to them for anything, they're willing to help me or, guide me along the way. We also have SCORE, Lunch, and Bright Bridge. We also have the Tennessee Small Business Development. So if you're at that part where you need to look for somebody, you can go to the chattanooga.gov and then SCORE business resources, and they'll list all these places that you can go to help you along the way. Also consider participating in a business development program like Lunch. Lunch offers training, support, and affordable services to entrepreneurs. They have a 10-week class that will basically start you from at the very beginning of when you're birthing your business up until, you launching it and getting it out. Find and join a business group that supports your market. For me, two of the things that, first of all, the first thing I did was I joined the Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce, which was amazing for networking. They're amazing for just, help getting your business out there and just being very supportive. But I also found businesses that were related to my business on social media. I'm a member of the Chattanooga Networking Small Business. And I'm also a member of, like, for my business, since I'm in janitorial services, I found like 3 or 4 janitorial services that they're just it's just amazing to have the support. If you have an issue, if you have like something that you can't figure out, you post it in the group and they answer you back. And if you have something that, they might give you something. Like when we went through COVID, when COVID first started in the janitorial group, there was so much help and just back, when we were looking for the disinfectant machines and stuff like that, there was just so much knowledge that was put out there to help. So I would encourage you to look for, online support that can help you with the business. And, you don't have to feel embarrassed or, feel like you're asking a silly question, because that's what we're here for. So you got you a mentor and you got you a partner, or you got you a partner. And sometimes in your main industry, it might be hard to find somebody that's willing to mentor you. But if not, just reach out. You never tell if somebody's willing to help you, because everybody doesn't feel like you're going to take their business away. But after you've gotten all that done, let's get down to the business of getting your business done. Why your name matters. There's a reason why you should put a lot of thought into your name. There's some businesses that just throws names out that are cute. When I first started, like I said, my business name is the Professional Cleaning Solutions. You know how much that it takes to type out that for the email, Professional Cleaning Solutions at gmail.com, or how much it takes to put that on a card or any marketing material. So that's why my business is also known as the PCS Cleaning. So I would just say, make sure that you put a lot of thought into what your name is, because what something might sound cute to you might be a turn off to a client, or it might not be as appealing to a client, or they really wouldn't feel like you're professional if you just have something like, cousin and uncle, moving supply store or something like that. Just put a lot of thought into what your name is. Then you need to decide what your business structure is. There are several different types of business structures. Sole proprietorship is easy to form, and it gives you complete control over your business. You can be a partnership. Those are the simplest structures for 2 or more people to own a business. Then you have a LLC, which is a limited liability company. That lets you take advantage of the benefits of both the corporation, partnership structure, and it protects you from personal liability. In most instances, it protects your personal assets. There's always also corporations, and there's several types of different corps. For a C Corp, it separates owners from the business. The corporation can make profit, it can be taxed, and can be held legally liable. Corporations pay income tax on their profits, and in some cases, they can be taxed twice. Then you have an S Corp, and it's a specialty type corporation that's designed to avoid double taxation. A B Corp is for a profit corporation. They are driven by both mission and profit. And then you have nonprofit organizations that are organized to do charity work. They're for religious entities, education entities, or any kind of scientific work. These organizations are not taxed. Once you figure out what your business structure is, now it's time to apply for your EIN, or your employee identification number. So what you'll do is go to irs.gov and register to get your number. Banks will need this number. If you're going to be in the service industry, most of the companies that you do business with, they will need that number when they ask you for a 1099. You'll basically need, that's your social security number for your business. Then after that, you apply for your business license, register your business with the Secretary of State, do your articles of organization, set up your account with TNTAP if you're in Tennessee. Then after you get your business and you're registered, I would say the next thing to do is get insured. For me, as a cleaning business, I have to have workman comp insurance policy, as well as general liability. Call your local offices and find out what your business needs, how much coverage you need, so that you can get started. Then build your website, social media. Some of these things that when you're a startup, because you don't actually have profit yet, or you might want to minimize the amount of money that you spend. I started my website on GoDaddy. I designed it myself. I think it was like $23.99. I made sure that I bought my domain for a couple of years so nobody could come up behind me and buy my domain. And then I just paid them to host it for me. I created my Facebook page myself. You want to make sure you get an Instagram page. You also need a Twitter page, because the more visible that you are to the public, the more likely you'll be recognized and you can be used. Business cards and other marketing materials. The very first time that I did all of mine, to save on costs, I just went to Vistaprint. I paid to get my business cards. I was probably on Vistaprint for like an hour just deciding what I wanted and how I wanted to look. And make sure you spend a lot of time in your marketing material because this does represent you and it represents your business. So you want to make sure that it's clean and it's as presentable as possible. One thing to avoid, I would say, is like bright colors or, too much squiggly lines or like calligraphy, or I would even say cursive. You want to make sure that it can be, seen and it's not too hard for somebody to view. Like, for example, I use very clean fonts on all of my marketing material just so that, when somebody's looking at it, they don't have a hard time trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. The other, after that, I would say go to the bank. Research a bank. I would say it's very important for a startup to have a relationship with a local bank. Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union, as well as like Smart Bank. Those are great banks. Like Tennessee Valley really supports small businesses. One of the things that they offer for small businesses is the Ideal Leap grant that I mentioned earlier. So I would say that having a relationship with a small bank, a local bank, a community bank is very important for a small business. But you have to decide what your business needs. Personally, I have a relationship with a community bank. On top of, I have a relationship with Bank of America. And I just primarily use Bank of America because I personally use Bank of America, but also Bank of America has ATMs all over everywhere. So if I have to deposit a check from a client or anything like that, I don't have to hold them forever. So just sit down, weigh the pros and cons of it. One of the things as a small business I'm very conscious of is fees. And, if you're going to charge me to have my money in your bank, I probably don't want to put my money there, especially if I'm going to be doing a lot of volume with you. So just weigh the pros and cons on how this bank will be serving to you. One of the things that made me really look into getting a relationship with a small business was when the payroll protection loan rolled out. Like I said, my banking relationship was with Bank of America. And I was immediately disqualified with Bank of America for the PPP program because I did not have a lending relationship with them. I had a checking account with them, a savings account, business account, but I wasn't indebted to them. So they initially canceled me out. So after me going on Twitter and going on a rampage and probably over, hundreds of thousands of customers doing the same thing, they rolled that decision back and then they made us eligible and then we qualified for it. But if I had a relationship with a smaller bank, that probably wouldn't have happened. So I would say entertain the thought of going by your local Tennessee Valley and see what they're talking about, or just look into what your bank can do for you. It would be horrible for you to have a banking relationship with someone that when you needed something, you feel like they didn't have your back. Okay, so we've made our commitment to our grind. We're trying to figure out where we're going to get our money from. We're finding friends and mentors and just support groups to help us along the way. And then we've gotten the business done. So now it's time to lunch. Now that all of that is out the way, you can lunch. You can tell the world about your business. There's different ways that you can lunch. You can do a ribbon cutting. I know that the Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce helps with those ribbon cuttings. Or you can just do all out like a plan on Facebook and roll out. Whatever you want to do, now it's time to tell the world that you're in business. Get out there and market all day. Be your own walking billboard. I wear my cleaning shirts all day, every day, unless I have to go to church or I have to go somewhere where I'm supposed to dress up. Any other time, you will see me in a PCS shirt or a hat because I am my biggest walking billboard. I have my sons have shirts, my husbands have shirts. We're gonna wear our name every day. I mean, I could wear Abercrombie, but I'd rather wear PCS. Pass out your business cards and materials whenever you go somewhere. That person might not need a cleaner today, but they may need you later. And you planted that seed to put them in their hands. For me, I'm a cleaner. Whatever goods or services you sell, just make sure that you pass them out. You see somebody, hey, how are you doing? Let me tell you about your business. Nobody's going to promote your business like you're going to promote your business. And you promoting your business is what's going to tie you into if you're going to be prosperous and if you're going to be, you're going to grow, or if you're just going to close up real soon. Research referral tools that may be beneficial for you. For me, when I first started, I signed up with Home Advisor. I will tell you that for whatever business, if you're in a service business, there are plenty of referral tools out of there. There's Home Advisors, there's Angie's List, there's Thumbtacks, Tackle, Home Depot Pro. There's a plethora of ones. I would encourage you to Google reviews because like my first interaction with one of the referral places wasn't pleasant, but it was a learning lesson because I didn't do a lot of, Googling on reviews and balancing it out. But I have an amazing relationship with Thumbtack. We've been top pro for the last 3 years. And my business grew exponentially under Thumbtack. So if you're in a service business, there are places out there that can help generate, referrals for you. So you don't have to just feel like, you're just throwing, throwing caution to the wind, or you're just out there just struggling on your own. Visit businesses that can use your service. One of the things that I knew that I wanted to do besides just doing residential cleaning was I knew that we wanted to have relationships with property management because they always have flips and they always need it. So I went out and I talked to apartment complex managers. I talked to, realtors and I really talked to agents a lot because when they get ready to put a house on the market, the house has to be clean. And so some of them didn't bite immediately. Some of them did. But then some of them sat on my car for 6 months and they called us. So now we have, contracts with over 27 property management groups, and it has helped us to be very successful. So I would just really encourage you to market yourself. I drove around for 6 months with PCS magnets on the side of my car. Everywhere I went, you have to bet on yourself. Nobody's going to bet on you like that. So I would encourage you to really, really make sure that you're marketing your business at all costs. Was that a lot? Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you with a lot in a short amount of time. And I also hope that you guys took some good notes and or, I said something that can be beneficial to you and can help you along the way. The last additional advice I would just say is to just let Google be your best friend. When I first started, because I didn't know anything about the cleaning business, I learned a lot from prices to competition to checklists to, just how to, applications. I just learned a wealth of stuff from Google because I just continued to research. I bought books. I went on Amazon and I bought books about cleaning, the cleaning industry. I signed up for programs to help me with, training employees. I even signed up for a conference in Vegas that got canceled due to COVID. So hopefully next year I get to go out and be amongst all of the cleaning people so we can just kind of feed off each other. Also, I would say spend some time on the SBA.gov. They have just a wealth of knowledge for all small businesses, from funding to just, help, get your, that can help you show you how to get signed up for your DBA certifications. That's if you qualify for those. And they just have a lot of, if you have any questions, the SBA is a great resource for that. All right, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and having this chat with me. Regardless of what stage you're in, if you're at the very first stage of just thinking about it, or you're already up and running, we can never learn, including myself, too much about how to make sure that our business is profitable and staying in business. So now we're going to turn into the Q&A part. So if you have any questions, I got the answers, hopefully.
Hi. Okay, so I think I said it so you guys can all unmute yourself. So I don't know if I need to unmute you or if you can unmute yourself. But do you guys have any questions? Hi, Katie. Let me see if I can unmute you guys.
Yeah, I would love to hear, what made you decide to want to do this panel today and share about your experience? I appreciate how real you were and transparent, so it was really fun.
Okay, so it kind of come from a couple of places. I don't ever claim to know everything at all, but like just going into the whole pandemic, I saw that like just on Facebook and stuff, there was a lot of other small businesses or entrepreneurs that didn't know that they qualify for certain things, like with the payroll protection. I remember like speaking to a guy that I was like, well, did you apply for the PPP? Because he was complaining about not being able to get unemployment. And he was like, I'm a contractor. And I'm like, no, you're a sole proprietor. And he was like, no, I'm a contractor. And I'm like, no, baby, you have contracts with your, with your clients, but you're self-employed, so you do qualify for it. And then just like hearing a guy was like, I need to go and apply for my business license. Do you think they'll approve me? And it just kind of like blew my mind that just some people just really don't know the basics. We take for granted that people just know it. All entrepreneurs just know what they need. And so it just became like a passion for me to want to help people know just the basics of it, because there's so much more that I didn't even touch on that was just like that we can go on for days to talk about. But just I just want to do something for the basics so that, if you want to get in and you have no clue about it, this will just help you with the basics of it. So it's just kind of like a passion now. Anybody else? Okay, I do know that I talk fast. I apologize. I work on it a lot. But then when I slow down, I flub a lot. Also, I think I said my husbands have shirts. I only have one husband. And some days I might, want to trade him in. No, I'm just joking. But I only have one husband. Let's be clear about that. And it's the DBE, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certifications, which you can get that down. I have mine through Chattanooga, through the city, Hamilton County. But I think I said DBA. I get real nervous when being filmed versus like if I'm just talking, I could talk all day with no problems. Anybody else has anything?
Hey, Sharon, thank you. And yeah, really thankful that you did this even with, being nervous and all of that. So appreciate that. I guess I was curious, I'm just starting up a company and I was curious to know like when you felt like you were done with the startup phase, like especially with, you said, you go to Google all the time and research and learn stuff. And I know the learning never ends and nothing, gets to the point where it completely goes smoothly, but.
Okay, you're going in and out. Like I think I heard, when do you end the startup phase, and then your audio went away.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, for your experience personally, how long did you feel like that startup phase lasted? And what were kind of maybe the phases of it? Excuse me.
Okay, so I really feel like I think I still felt like I was a baby until I hit my 1-year anniversary. And I still feel like a baby. I launched it June 26, 2018. So I haven't been in business that long. I've been very blessed to have, like, especially within this last year, which is crazy that we call it prospering in a pandemic. We have really had a very good year. But I think it was like maybe the first year, after the first year, that I really felt like that we weren't completely just a baby anymore and that we were like a legit company. And then, but there's still so much I still need to know. Like there's still so much I'm still learning, and I understand that. Like I didn't learn the importance of having a community banking relationship until this year. You know what I'm saying? There's a program that CoLab had that I was blessed to be able to be a part of. Like I just thought my marketing was fine. And I just didn't realize until I went through that program that there are so many more things, so much more avenues I was missing with the marketing, or that, when I first started out and I was hungry, I used to always post content on my Facebook and on my social media. Like I used to always post our pictures and our cleanings and stuff. And then as we got busier, I kind of got away from it. And I kind of took for granted, I guess, that our name, was kind of out there. So, but the marketing program just kind of helped me. I still need to keep it fresh. I still need, because there's still other people to attract. So I would think like the first year is the year that I really felt like we weren't just a startup anymore, and that we're actually like a baby business, because I still feel brand new. Like I said, we've been blessed. This year we got this Times Free Press Best of the Best cleaning company, which still just blows my mind. I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing for us. And so I guess did I answer your question? I didn't hear the second part.
No, that was it. I was just wanting to hear more about your experience in those beginning stages, and and when the feeling was okay. Yeah,
I think the first year when it was actually after the first year anniversary, I was like, I'm a legit company. I think that first year I was still like, not saying it was a hobby, but it just didn't seem real. And then after the first year, it was just like, oh, you paid out $100,000 in payroll, so you're pretty legit.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck to you on your business.
Thank you.
Anybody else has anything or comments or any advice to anybody? I can't see anybody's face. Okay. Well, what I also would say is I said a lot, and I said a lot fast. But just the only advice I would give to anybody that's really looking into coming into entrepreneurship is to make sure that you have the business of your business taken care of. That is just so important to me, because there's so much funding that was out there and still is that people missed because they didn't have business license, or they weren't registered with the Secretary of State, or they didn't file their taxes. Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. They didn't have Schedule C's. And so, that's what determines a business from a hobby. So that's just I guess my main point of what I've become passionate about now is just making sure that everybody has their business lined up, so that if there is something out there, we can get everything that supports. Because if you're a startup, you need help. Like, I talked about the capital. I started line with my credit cards and my savings and stuff. And luckily I've been able to pay all the credit cards off and replenish my savings. But it's hard for a startup business. Like, I remember days that, I had property management that owed me like $10,000 and I still had to pay payroll. So I was taking it out of my paycheck to make sure the payroll, because, taking care of people and making sure they could take care of their family was very, very important to me. And so, like, just getting capital. That's why I mentioned Kiva and all these different programs. And it is hard sometimes to raise capital as a startup because you don't have the stuff behind you to prove that, you're going to be successful and stuff. But I would say just research those different programs and see what's out there and try to take advantage of everything that's out there. But even with taking advantage of those, you got to have your paperwork and stuff online. Well, that was quick. We didn't last a whole hour. Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
Well, I'll ask another question since nobody else is. I was just curious if you started in 2018, you said? So for people attending Startup Week who are starting businesses now in this environment, in the pandemic, what would have been different for you if you were starting now? Or what would you have done differently? Any thoughts there, I guess?
That's a really good question. So one of the issues that I'm actually facing now is that because we're so busy with cleanings, like the COVID cleanings, and stuff, I want to go back to my video. When I said fogging, disinfecting machines, they're called foggers. I do know that. I do know what they're called. I just got nervous. But so we're so busy. And so I placed the Indeed ad, and the quality of employees right now are just not out there. So one of the issues I think I would be facing right now with the pandemic, with the unemployment money and stuff out there, is hiring quality employees, because I have 25 plus employees right now, but I need to add about 5 or 6 more so that we can comfortably handle the workload that we have. And it's been really hard right now to hire people to get these jobs fulfilled. So I just really think that would be an issue, because for me, because we're cleaning, I took a hit in March, and because everybody shut everything down, so our businesses were closed, so we didn't have to clean them. Because of the pandemic, because everybody was afraid of it, our residentials just immediately shut down. We didn't want to really go into houses. They didn't really want us to come into the houses. And then the tornado happened, and after the tornado happened, we just really ramped up really fast, because like property management had these empty houses and apartments that we had to put people that were displaced in. So fortunately for me, because of the nature of my business, I've become busier versus losing business due to, the pandemic. But I think for me, it's just finding skilled employees. So Shana said, do you have a handout that you've compiled some of the websites and supporting stages? That I do, because I'm writing a book. And I was supposed to have this book done like 2 months ago, but bye, Katie, love you. But so Shana, what I can do is, if you drop me your email, I can email you the handout that with the websites and the other things that we talked about. Anything else? Anybody else? Well, if there's nobody else that has any questions or anything like that, and if anybody else wants the handout with the supporting information, I promise, guys, I can talk. I'm dropping my email inside the chat, and then I'll email it out to you guys later on today. It's going to break down like all the things that the city has. Like, the city has so many grants, and I've taken advantage of almost all of them. Like, they have the Chattanoogians to work. So just if you employ 5 Chattanoogians, there's a grant that's up to $10,000. I got the neighborhood reinvestment grant. There's just so much money out there in the city, and just so many different resources that Chattanooga has for startups. So if you shoot that to me, I'll save those and I'll send all that information out to you guys. And if you need anything else, you guys can kind of reach me out. Like I said, I don't claim to know of everything, but I do know that I've spent hours on hours on hours researching it because I knew that my business, I wanted my business to be successful. I didn't want it to fail. So you're welcome, Shayna. Thank you for tuning in. And I know that we're recording it, so we can drop it back on the schedule. So if you guys wanted to re-listen to it again, it'll be available. Well, I'm not going to hold you guys long. You guys got my email. You guys are welcome to call me or text me if you have any questions about anything. And I really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Y'all have a great day.